Unlock these 8 signs you're an attractive man, irresistible to women. There are moments when you walk into a room and you can feel eyes turning toward you. Nobody says anything, but you feel it, a strange kind of energy that makes people nervous, shy, or even a little jealous. And you catch yourself wondering why they react to you like that. The truth is, you might be way more attractive than you think, and today we're going to decode exactly what that looks like. 1. Women get nervous and fidgety around you. Have you ever noticed a woman acting just a little weird when she is standing close to you? She was talking normally a minute ago, but now her eye contact is off, her voice gets softer, her hands touch her neck or play with her hair without her even realizing it. That is not random shyness. That is her body reacting to attraction. Human bodies have their own language, and when a woman feels strong masculine energy, her body responds before her brain can catch up. She literally cannot control how much attention her mind is giving you. Women often get nervous standing next to a man they are drawn to, because in that moment they are not just looking at you, they are suddenly very aware of how you are seeing them. A confident man does not need to prove he is attractive. He just shows up calm and grounded, and that alone is enough to speed up her heartbeat. She starts fixing her hair, checking her reflection in a window, or smiling for no obvious reason. Pay attention to her eyes. If you catch her sneaking looks at you and then quickly looking away, that is not rejection. That is embarrassment for being caught checking you out. Women worry that if they stare too long, they will give themselves away. The truth is, she already did. An average guy will assume she is uninterested, but a man who understands women knows nervousness is one of the most flattering reactions you can get. When she loses a bit of control over her movements, her subconscious is saying you're a sweet kind of danger. Some women react the opposite way. Instead of avoiding your gaze, they hold it just a little longer than normal. Maybe only a second, but enough to make your chest tighten. That is her testing you. She wants to see if you can hold eye contact calmly or if you're going to break first. If you just give a small, relaxed smile and keep your frame, she feels something different, a masculinity that does not need to perform. When a woman feels nervous around you, it is not because you did something wrong. It is because you make her feel something right. Your presence hits harder than the other men in the room, and that shakes her emotional balance. You do not need to talk a lot. Silence is powerful, because in that silence, she can hear her own heartbeat. You will notice she laughs at things you say that are not even that funny. A normal comment from you suddenly becomes hilarious to her, and then she tries to play it off like nothing happened. She touches her neck, adjusts her clothes, shifts in her seat, glances at you from the side. All of that is her body responding to your energy. If you look closely, when you talk, she leans in toward you without even realizing it. When you step just a little closer, her breathing changes for a second. That physical reaction is a mix of thrill and fear. Not fear of you hurting her, but fear of how fast she is starting to like you. Here is the key. Women do not act like that around men they are not interested in. When they do not care, they are relaxed, distant, sometimes even cold. They're not playing with their hair or losing their words. When they are attracted, everything becomes subtle, complicated, and strangely beautiful. Next time you walk into a space, watch who becomes just a little more clumsy. Maybe she drops her glass, stumbles over a word, or laughs at the wrong moment. That is not random. That is you throwing off her internal balance. Never confuse nervousness with lack of interest. A woman who does not care will not react at all. A woman who is attracted will react in silence. Sometimes she will just sit there quietly, but her eyes are saying everything she is not ready to say out loud. What makes you attractive is not just your face or your muscles. It is your calmness, your self-trust, the way you know your own value. When you move with that energy, women feel it without needing you to brag. They are not nervous because you scare them. They are nervous because you make them feel alive. The emotional world of a woman is built on feelings. If you can activate those feelings without trying too hard, you have stepped into a space most men never reach. One look, one smile, one shared silence can be enough to stick in her memory. So when you notice a woman stumbling over her words around you, do not panic and do not overthink thinking you did something wrong. Smile, relax, and let the tension breathe between you. That calmness from you only fuels her curiosity. She starts wondering why you make her feel like that. And that is when the game of attraction begins. Women rarely forget the men who made them lose their composure. If you have ever made a woman forget what she was about to say, made her hand shake slightly when you clink glasses, or made her smile and look away fast, understand this. You just left a mark that will not disappear quickly. Once you understand this, you stop doubting yourself. You realize real attraction is not about trying to look attractive, but about having the courage to be yourself. Natural, grounded, present in every breath. That authenticity is what makes everyone around you just a little more nervous. 2. Other men change their behavior when you walk in. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the vibe shift instantly? Conversations pause for half a second. A few quick glances slide your way. Some guys give you a stiff smile, and suddenly you know there is something about you they all felt at the same time. That is not your imagination. That is the impact of masculine presence. When an attractive man steps into a space, the competitive instinct in other men wakes up automatically. Some men will look at you with quiet respect. They feel your energy and naturally react with a small nod, a subtle sign of recognition. Others feel the need to prove themselves. They get louder, jump into conversations, or start telling bigger stories, trying to pull the spotlight back onto themselves. That is a natural reaction when they feel their position in the room is threatened. If you have ever shared a story and another guy cuts in with a forced laugh, trying to add to it and make his version sound better, do not get triggered. He is not really attacking you. He is just protecting his ego. He is uncomfortable seeing you outshine him. A confident man understands that when others feel the need to compete, it means he is already standing out. You will also see guys acting like you do not exist. They avoid eye contact, do not say hello, pretend they have no idea you just walked in. Most of the time, that is not hatred, it is insecurity. Acknowledging you would force them to face the fact that you are commanding the room. In those moments, you still do not need to do anything special. Stand tall, relax your shoulders, and let your silence say everything. Men are deeply hierarchical creatures. Every group has a leader, a few strong followers, and people trying to find their place. When you have the energy of a leader, you do not have to fight for power. Your presence organizes the room for you. Your eye contact, your posture, the way you move, it is all enough for people to start positioning themselves around you. You will notice this most in public spaces, in a coffee shop, at the gym, at social events. When you walk in, people subtly make room. They step aside, adjust their position, or the conversation softens as you pass. This is what happens when your energy dominates the space without saying a word. Some men will try to befriend you quickly. They strike up a conversation, give a compliment, or joke around just to feel out your confidence. They want to test whether what they sense in you is real or just appearance. A truly attractive man does not get pulled into that game. He does not need to sell himself. A simple smile and calm eye contact is enough of an answer. And then there are the ones who talk trash about you behind your back or subtly tear you down in front of others. Do not take it personally. If they have to use words to pull you down, you're already standing above them. A high-value man does not push others down to feel tall. He simply refuses to lower his standards. Women are extremely tuned into these social signals. When she sees other men reacting strongly to you, whether through respect or jealousy, she instantly feels your value. In her mind, any man who changes the energy of other men has a special gravity, and gravity is attractive. So the next time you walk into a room and sense a few curious looks, a few fake smiles, or conversations shifting pace, do not assume you are unwelcome. The truth is, you just became the reference point everyone is adjusting to. Your energy is setting the temperature of the room. An average man feels pressure in those situations, but a truly confident man enjoys it. He knows that when people act differently around him, it means he is quietly controlling the room, not with words, but with presence. Remember this. Men only react strongly to those who make them feel something. If they are jealous, that means you have something they want. If they respect you, they see your value. If they go quiet, you made them think. In every case, you are the one setting the tone. When you can stay calm in the middle of those reactions, you do not just attract women, you win the respect of men. And in the world of men, there is nothing stronger than a man who can walk into a room and make everything pause for a second, just by being there. 3. Women test you more than other men. Here is something most men never understand. When a woman is attracted to you, she rarely shows it directly. Instead of confessing feelings, she throws little challenges at you. A cold look, a teasing comment, a sentence that sounds dismissive. None of that is a wall, it is a test. She does not want a man she can predict in 2 minutes. She wants a man who makes her wonder what he will do next. When she says something like, "I bet you say that to every girl," she is not really accusing you. She is checking how solid you are inside. If you panic and start explaining yourself, she knows your confidence is fragile. But if you just smile, hold her gaze, and say something like, "I only say it when I mean it," she feels that. Women do not fall in love with the words you use. They fall in love with how they feel after you say them. The more attractive you are, the more you'll be tested. She will act unimpressed, play it cool, or lightly roast you to see if you crack. She wants to know if you're as calm on the inside as you appear on the outside. Imagine her joking, half serious and half playful, saying, "You look way too confident. I'm sure everyone likes you." On the surface, it sounds like a dig, but underneath, it is pure curiosity. She wants to know if you really are that confident or if it is just a mask. An attractive man does not overreact. He laughs it off, responds with ease, or redirects the conversation smoothly. When you do not fall into the emotional trap she sets, you pass the test. Your steadiness tells her she is dealing with a real man, someone who does not need to defend himself or argue to protect his ego. A lot of guys fail here. They think being tested means they are being rejected. But the reality is, if she did not care, she would not test you at all. Women only test men they consider potential. Tests are her way of checking if you are strong enough to be trusted. If you stay light and playful, she gradually lets her guard down. If you get defensive, she quietly pulls away. She might act stuck up, answer you dryly, or pretend she is not that interested. Do not panic. That is just smoke hiding her real emotion. When you respond with a relaxed smile and stable eye contact, she feels pulled in. A woman's emotions do not follow logic, they follow energy. When you stay grounded, you become an emotional anchor she cannot ignore. Sometimes the test is pure silence. She does not text back right away, not because she is too busy, but because she is watching how you react. If you chase, triple text, or lose your cool, you fail. If you stay calm, handle your life, and respond without neediness when she comes back, you pass. It is in that quiet space that her curiosity grows, and curiosity turns into attraction. Women are not looking for a perfect man. They're looking for a man who makes them feel safe and excited at the same time. Attraction lives in that thin line between stability and mystery. So when she tests you, smile inside. It means you already touched her emotions deeply enough for her to care about who you really are. If you can hold her gaze, keep your smile, and meet her challenge with ease, you do more than just pass a test. You earn her respect. And respect is only one breath away from desire. 4. Strangers keep looking at you without realizing it. There is something strange you may have noticed. You walk into a coffee shop, a gym, or cross the street, and people's eyes seem to stick to you a little longer than normal. They are not trying to stare, they may not even be aware of it, but something about you triggers their subconscious to pay attention. That is not luck, that is natural magnetism. When a man with true presence walks into a space, the atmosphere shifts slightly. There's a subtle pressure that makes people adjust their posture, look up from their phones, or stop mid-sentence just to see who walked in. Women will shift their eyes quickly, but their gaze leaves a trace. Sometimes you catch it, and in that split second, both of you know something just passed between you. She will immediately look away and pretend to be focused on something else, but the slight blush on her face gives her away. That is attraction in real time. Strangers do not all look at you with the same emotion. Men scan you differently. They do not want to stare, but you still feel their eyes measuring you, judging, evaluating. Some will give you a small nod, a tiny sign of respect. Others will look away, quickly, like staring too long would confront them with their own lack of confidence. Whether it is admiration or discomfort, both reactions admit your presence. Women are more subtle. They look at you several times, pretending each look is accidental. Sometimes it is a quick glance followed by a tiny smile. Sometimes it is a longer, curious stare before she quickly turns away. That is the silent game between two strangers. You do not need to say anything. Your existence is already starting the conversation. This is not only about being physically good-looking. It has more to do with how you move, how you hold yourself, your breathing, your focus. People look at you not just because you are attractive, but because you look like you're going somewhere, like you know what you're doing, like there is a story behind your eyes. When a man with that kind of energy steps into a room, everyone feels it, even if they cannot explain it. You can see it in small details. People step out of your way without realizing, shift in their seats when you walk by, or the volume in the room drops a notch as you enter. The world reacts to the frequency you are broadcasting. When you walk with stability and intention, the environment adjusts around you. Sometimes, people will look for a reason to get closer. They ask the time, ask about your shoes, comment on something tiny like your cologne or your watch. It is easy to think that it's just friendliness, but often it is their way of getting a taste of the energy they felt from across the room. Real attraction does not need loud entrances, flashy clothes, or trying too hard. It only needs you to be fully present in your own skin. When you understand that, you stop chasing attention and start working on your inner state. A man who knows who he is and what he stands for naturally becomes someone the world cannot ignore. So next time you catch someone staring at you and then pretending they did not, do not pretend you did not see it. Just give a small, calm smile. In that tiny moment, you prove to yourself that your presence speaks louder than your words. 5. People treat you better without you asking. Have you ever noticed that even when you're not trying, people still seem to treat you a little better? The waiter remembers your face. The barista smiles at you a little longer. Strangers move aside and let you pass. Underneath all of that is one thing. Your energy makes people want to do something for you. That is not random luck. It is the natural response to real charisma. An attractive man does not need to talk a lot to be noticed. The way he stands, the way he looks at people, the way he smiles is enough to make others feel he deserves respect. The world responds to the signals you send out. If you carry yourself with quiet confidence and ease, people feel more relaxed and more willing to go out of their way for you. You can see this in small, everyday moments. You walk up to the bar, and even if there are other people waiting, the bartender spots you first. Service staff talk to you friendlier, more casually. They're not being fake. They're reacting to how they feel in your presence. A man with relaxed posture and calm eyes gives off the vibe that he is used to being treated well, and the world simply follows that expectation. Women pick up on this strongly. They get drawn to men who get good treatment without begging for it. A woman might ask you about your drink, your food, or your cologne, not just because she is curious, but because she wants a reason to connect with you. That small interaction is her way of stepping into your world for a moment. Real attraction is less about what you say and more about how people feel when they are around you. If they feel lighter, safer, more inspired, they will naturally want to help you, serve you, be near you. That is why sometimes you get a free extra, a better table, or help you did not even ask for. If you have ever wondered why some people always seem lucky, pay attention to how they face the world. They are not begging. They are not demanding. They simply believe they are worthy of good treatment. And because they believe it, everyone else does too. Women are extremely sensitive to that kind of energy. When they see you being respected and prioritized, they instantly read you as a high-value man. In their emotional world, a man the world takes care of is a man worth paying attention to. Remember, you do not need to force people to treat you well. You just need to speak in a calm voice, move at your own pace, and smile like good things are supposed to happen to you. The world reflects back what you expect from it. Once you master that inner expectation, being treated differently stops being a surprise and becomes your normal. 6. Women get upset when you do not notice them. One of the clearest signs you are attractive is when women start acting annoyed and you have no idea why. You did not say anything offensive, you did not hurt her feelings, but suddenly she gets colder, distant, or low-key irritated. The real reason is simple. She is mad because you are not giving her attention. When a woman wants you to notice her and you stay quiet, it hits one of her deepest instincts. Women crave attention from the man they are attracted to, not out of ego, but because attention equals validation. When you do not look at her, do not smile back, do not ask about her, she starts questioning her own attractiveness. That curiosity turns into frustration, and that frustration turns into behavior. She might talk louder, laugh harder, or act extra playful with other people just to see if you finally turn your head. Sometimes she will walk past you more than once, brush your arm lightly, or ask you a random question like, "Have you seen my phone?" The phone is not the point. You are. She just wants an excuse to lock eyes with you. If you still stay calm and unbothered, she starts losing patience. Your silence becomes the thing that drives her crazy, but it also pulls her in deeper. When a woman is into you, she becomes strategic. She does not want to look like she is chasing you, so she creates situations where you have to respond first. She might talk to someone else, but keep glancing your way. She might post something, start drama, or stir up energy just to draw your attention. And if you really do not react, she starts asking herself questions. Why is this guy different? Why is he not doing what every other man does? That question is the start of obsession. The more she wonders why you are not giving her what she wants, the more she thinks about you. A man's attractiveness is not measured by how many women he chases, but by how many women want to be chosen by him. When you can stay centered and not jump at every opportunity, you create a sense of scarcity around your attention. Women feel like they have to earn it, and that makes it more valuable. 7. People assume you have a lot of options. One of the most subtle signs you're truly attractive is when people automatically assume you have options. They just believe you're talking to someone, that your phone is never dry, that you are never really alone unless you choose to be. The funny part is, you might not be seeing anyone at all, but the way you live and carry yourself makes people think you are in demand. Women notice this instantly. When they see a man who is confident, relaxed, and never acting desperate for connection, their brain tells them he probably has other women around him. That thought makes them more interested because humans naturally want what other people want. If she believes other women are paying attention to you, she starts looking at you differently. Now it feels like a competition, and that amplifies her emotions. She might joke and say, "I bet you have tons of girls in your DMs," or "You seem like the type who breaks hearts." It sounds playful, but underneath she is fishing for information. She wants to know if you truly are that in demand, or if it just feels that way. If you just smile and let the comment float without confirming or denying, her curiosity only gets stronger. Your attractiveness here comes from emotional independence. A man who is not chasing validation, not begging for affection, sends out the signal that he is already complete. Other people can feel that. When you're good with or without them, they start wanting to be part of your life, just to find out what makes you so stable. So if people assume you have options, do not rush to argue with them. Let them think what they want. In the game of attraction, mystery always works better than oversharing. 8. Women remember you after the briefest interaction. There's a kind of attraction you cannot see. You can only feel it. It shows up when you leave a room, but your presence is still echoing in someone's mind. She only met you for a few minutes, had a short conversation, but later that night, she finds herself replaying your smile, your voice, the way you looked at her. Even she does not fully understand why she keeps thinking about you. That is not magic. That is the emotional imprint you leave behind. A truly attractive man does not need to be the loudest person in the room. He just needs to make people feel something they are not used to feeling. When you talk, you're not racing. When you listen, you make the other person feel like time slowed down. That calm focus and presence is rare in a noisy world, and rare things are unforgettable. She will talk about you to her friends without even noticing. She will say there was something different about you, not just your looks, but the feeling of safety mixed with mystery. That is the signature of a man with depth. Women will not always remember your exact words, but they will always remember how they felt standing in front of you. If that feeling was strong enough, they will want to see you again just to confirm it was real. Real attraction is not about how many people notice you. It is about how many people cannot forget you. When you walk away from conversation and leave behind a quiet sense of curiosity, you're planting a memory in someone's mind. And when she catches herself thinking about you for no clear reason, you have already won without chasing anything. Final lesson. Looking at these 8 signs, it is clear that a man's true attraction is not built on looks alone or smooth lines. It lives in the energy that comes from confidence, calmness, and inner leadership. Women react to the mix of safety and challenge, while attractive men know how to hold that balance between control and effortlessness. The real strategy is not trying to impress anyone. It is becoming the strongest and most grounded version of yourself. When you manage your own emotions, you manage the atmosphere around you. And when a woman feels she is in front of a real man, almost everything you do becomes 10 times more attractive. You do not need to chase. You become the gravity that pulls her toward you. If this video is shifting the way you see attraction, drop a comment below and share which signs you have noticed in yourself or experienced before. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss new videos on becoming a more magnetic, confident, and irresistible man every single day.